genetic sequencing. We had to when it became clear that the government didn't have a solitary clue what it was doing, and they weren't so much following the science as pissing in the wind. Face masks. Face masks, for example, what a shit show. We were initially told they were essential, then we were told they weren't. Then they were, then they weren't, then they were essential, then they weren't. 6 U-turns, and then we were finally told they definitely were essential, but not for another 2 weeks. By which point, it was too late and all the contrary little twats had already decided that wearing a small piece of cloth across your face in Tesco Metro constituted a massive infringement of their civil liberties. The idea of Boris Johnson thanking us for overwhelmingly obeying the rules, I find genuinely offensive. Some of us did. Some of us did obey the rules. Just not the health minister, the prime minister, the prime minister's wife, the prime minister's wife's friends, or the chancellor of the exchequer, who were all partying the night away whilst the rest of us were honing our various mental health issues, passing the time by saying goodbye to our dead or dying relatives on Zoom. Cunts. Every single last one of them. Cunts.
Thank you, Byline TV and Jonathan Pye. It's really, really visceral what I feel about those people. And frankly, any people who broke lockdown and did such things, I feel visceral anger towards them. Can almost, when he used that word, and actually I won't use it, I want to just stick with him using the word because it had the most impact in the situation in which he used it, and it describes perfectly how I feel about anybody who did this and actually celebrated. You know, a party genuinely is usually celebrating. It's living it up, isn't it? You know, a party is to celebrate something. A party is a gathering, I guess. It could even be a kind of supportive gathering where we all get together to support each other. But essentially a party is, well, they weren't essential, were they? They weren't essential. And here are the people who have made the rules and go on about those rules perfectly sensibly, I believe, because obviously they were made to protect us. They were made to protect our loved ones. The rules were made to stop the spread of the virus that once people got it at that stage was killing large numbers of people. Now I'm lucky. When I got COVID, it was after I think my second or maybe even third vaccination. It might have been the third vaccination. By then, we had got the vaccine. And whatever you say, people in my position, yeah, but even with the vaccine, obviously, we know some people have still died. The tragedy of that, the tragedy of not being able to say goodbye to your family, your loved one, your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, your lifelong friends. The tragedy of them having to die alone. And the ones that were sent back into care homes, many of them again died alone. I'm not criticising our care workers and our health service and everybody who did all they could. I will not criticise them. They're the most amazing people and always will be. But what is a fine to these people? What is it? Nothing. It's absolutely nothing. And the Prime Minister, the biggest one who did this of all, that incompetent, nasty, right-wing, puffed up, arrogant liar of a man should not hold the office of Prime Minister of this country. Thank you, Jonathan Pye. Thank you for what you said. And thank you for where you said it as well. Take care, COVIDians. It's not over. It's not over. And in terms of what's happening in our country, worse things are happening. Worse things are happening even than that. Our civil rights, our civil liberties are being taken away as we step further into fascism within what is a dictatorship.